Hey, Realm News fans, it's your host, the Dark Lord. The one who puts the real in Realm and expands your mind one block at a time. Just a quick reminder, if you're enjoying the show, don't forget to follow and subscribe. Your support helps keep Realm News thriving. Share with your friends, leave a like or comment on Spotify or Good Pods, and connect with me on X, Blue Sky, Reddit, or via email at bio.link/realm news. Want even more? Check out my Patreon at the Copper tier for early episodes, bonus content, and exclusive newsletters. Details at bio.link/realm news. Thanks for being part of the adventure. Keep crafting, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Realm News. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another Realm News Flash. This is an update. This is a Realm News Flash update from the one earlier today, complimentary to the one. Things are unfolding with the leaked source code from 2014. There's been a lot of developments made. I came across a tweet earlier today. It'll be in my show description. That was super interesting because they provided a lot of context to this. They go by Coah, C-O-A-H, is their name on X, and they published this close to a day ago. I just came across it though in my feed, so sorry about that. I should have saw it earlier, but it looks like, actually February 28th when it first came out, they posted this. So I wish I would have came across the source. That's why I'm making this now. Anyways, I whipped this up real quick, and I'm just going to go ahead and report it real fast. So let's go ahead and start with this update on the leak, the source code leak, shall we? When you're ready. My friends, we have a major update to a developing story. What began as a reported source archive leak has now expanded into what appears to include development material connected to both early mobile and console era builds of Minecraft. If you recall, in my earlier today's episode on Realm News Flash number 75, because it's not now number 76, I reported that it was leaked initially on 4chan by an anonymous leaker. They just went by anonymous. Anyways, what we're learning gives us one of the clearest technical windows ever into how the game was actually built. Information referenced in this report comes from publicly circulated developer file excerpts, analyzed by preservation researchers, historical documentation from Mojang Studios, development credits from 4J Studios, and hardware documentation published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Before we begin, an important reminder. Realm News does not encourage downloading, compiling, or redistributing leaked proprietary materials. This discussion is strictly historical and analytical. Let's begin here. According to analyzed development files shared publicly by preservation researchers in 2026, early Minecraft Pocket Edition builds used the internal project name, quote-unquote, Ninecraft, like as in nine, N-I-N-E, craft, C-R-A-F-T, if you want me to spell it all out. Ninecraft, I'm not sure why. That's interesting. We'll have to do further research into that, folks. This is just a gist overview. Anyways, researchers comparing the files with documented early mobile development history described in Mojang's official development blogs note that textures were embedded directly into C++ header files as raw data arrays, a technique consistent with early smartphone optimization practices documented during 2011 era mobile game development. As described in publicly discussed bug documentation attributed to early Pocket Edition builds, quote unquote, right now it segfaults on purpose. The Android version intentionally crashed during shutdown to force graphics cleanup, a workaround aligned with early Android lifecycle limitations referenced in mobile development discussions from the period quoted at Mojang Studios development blog 2011 through 2012. Additional documented issues include partially broken frustum calling copied from Java Edition behavior, unfinished item systems, lighting failures, and several memory leaks explicitly marked, quote, at MEM leak, LEAK, period, end quote. These notes align with known early Pocket Edition limitations described in historical documentation of Minecraft Pocket Edition Mojang AB 2011. Now, let's move on here to evidence of early planned features. Preservation researchers analyzing the circulated files identified a town feature structure stub suggesting villages were planned years before their official release. Then a tripod camera entity triggering in-game photography, and incomplete gameplay systems awaiting testing assets. Gosh, this just unveils so much of how the Mojang team thinks. We've been guessing, folks, like how the drop cycle is going to work, like how far out do these developers plan things. We're starting to get a good picture here that they plan things out years. Trust me, I want to read some more off. They plan out years ahead, folks. Like, it's wild. These findings are consistent with Mojang's document iterative development model, where features often existed internally long before public updates. And this is at Mojang Studios, quoted at 2011 to 2016. Now, the console archive reportedly contains over 3,500 source files targeting Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Windows builds, and the unreleased PlayStation Vita. Sorry, I was struggling with that earlier. But if you recall the earlier episode, then you know what I'm talking about. Development credits and historical records confirm console editions were primarily engineered by 4J Studios in collaboration with Mojang. Technical analysis indicates the console version was not derived from Java Edition, but implemented as a separate C++ engine tailored to fix hardware platforms. One of the most significant discoveries involves PlayStation 3 specific files referencing SPU task systems, otherwise specialized coprocessors within the PS3 cell processor architecture. I hope some of you technical people know what any of this is, because this was like pulled all from that tweet. Sony's published hardware documentation confirms SPUs were designed for parallel workloads such as physics simulation and rendering acceleration, according to Sony Interactive Entertainment in 2011. According to preservation researchers analyzing the material, developers use these SPUs for 1. Parallel chunk rendering, 2. Compressed tile storage, 3. World streaming optimization. In simple terms, engineers were writing low-level coprocessor code, whatever that is, to make Minecraft run smoothly on 7th generation consoles. Console files reference a fully implemented... I want to move on here because things get even more wild, people. Like, this is more my kind of stuff I'm getting into here now. That was all technical, which is really cool and interesting, learning how they are going through all that. But now we're going to get into something like a lost dimension that's been discovered. Excuse me, I had to get a drink of water. A lost dimension, a SkyIsland. Console files reference a fully implemented SkyIsland dimension featuring floating islands, no ground layer, purple atmospheric fog, and a unique world generator. No equivalent dimension ever shipped publicly, suggesting a cut experimental feature during console development. That's wild, folks. We were just talking, I was just joking, literally last night with the guys after my live show about fourth dimension coming. I'll say, there won't ever be a fourth dimension for years, for a long time. Well, maybe there will be. Maybe they'll pull this scrapped one, the SkyIsland, which sounds cool. I remember the early days. SkyIsland, I think, was part of when April Fool's, one of those multi-dimensional worlds. I did a report over something involving SkyIsland. I think Nacho was experimenting with something like that, a dimension. I have to look back into that, folks. But the a lost dimension SkyIsland, that would be pretty awesome. That'd be awesome. Anyways, let's go on to here, like some features years ahead of release. Researchers also identified a coral tile system dated internally to around 2013, predating the official aquatic overhaul by several years. Several years. See, people, they're thinking years ahead for all these things. So who knows what's coming out around the corner. Procedural coloration and material handling systems were already implemented, demonstrating how long ideas could remain in development before public release. So this is crazy to just confirm a lot of this stuff. A lot of us have thought that, these take years of development, like working out, brainstorming, and just developing it into fruition. But now it's been confirmed, and it's just wild. Let's hear about this, the NetherSphere entity. I've never heard of anything like this. It doesn't sound like we know much about it. The NetherSphere entity. It's another discovery that includes an entity labeled NetherSphere, defined as a 4x4 block object with no behavior or saved data. Its purpose remains unknown, representing what preservationists often call a quote-unquote development ghost, which is a feature concept abandoned before completion. Now let's move on to the bigger historical meaning here of this. Taken together, these findings reinforce what historians of the game have long suspected. Early Minecraft existed as multiple parallel technological lineages. We had Java Edition evolving on PC, then we had Pocket Edition experimenting on mobile hardware, and then Legacy Console Edition engineered independently for consoles. This fragmented development eventually converged years later into modern cross-platform releases, documented during the Bedrock transition announced by Mojang Studios in 2017. Now, what is this archive? What this archive reveals isn't perfection at all. Obviously, it reveals experimentation, memory leaks labeled honestly. Like, you need to look through this. There's notes. Like, it was interesting. The final thoughts over all this is we've learned a lot. We've confirmed that it takes years to develop this. It was interesting to see the evolution. Like, we've got a clear picture of the evolution, and I don't know. I'm just excited to see what else comes from this as talks and what people discover in the source code, because I'm just reiterating what other people discovered. I'll have this Koa's link to this thread from X, Twitter, now X, in the works cited. But that's all I have as an update here. Sorry I didn't throw that in earlier. That's why I got it out there now, folks. Anyways, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I wish you all happy crafting. The Dark Lord, signing out. Hey, Realm News fans, it's your host, the Dark Lord, the one who puts the real in Realm and expands your mind one block at a time. I am here to tell you that your support means everything. Spread the word by telling friends, liking, and commenting on Spotify or Good Pods. Find me on X, Blue Sky, Reddit, or via email at bio.link/realmnews. For more content, join my Patreon at the Copper tier for early episodes, bonus content, and newsletters. Find out more at bio.link/realmnews. No pressure, though. Just keep listening, liking, and sharing. That's more than enough. Happy crafting, and see you at the next Realm News.